Welcome to Mantis Library, your gateway to mysticism and transformative knowledge. Here we explore the hidden depths of the mind, the mysteries of existence, and the unseen forces shaping our reality. In today's video, we dive into one of Greek mythology's most demonized figures, Hades, ruler of the underworld. But we won't just retell his myth. We'll explore its deeper psychological meaning. How Hades is not merely a god of death, but a necessary force within us, shaping our personal evolution and guiding us through the shadows of our own psyche. Why do we fear the underworld? Why does Hades evoke both dread and fascination? To answer this, we turn to depth psychology, particularly the insights of Carl Jung and James Hillman. So, take a deep breath. Let's descend into darkness together. In Greek mythology, Hades rules the underworld, a realm of the unseen, where the dead reside and where hidden forces shape reality. Unlike later portrayals that depict him as malevolent, the ancient Greeks saw Hades as a necessary force, maintaining order between life and death. One of the most well-known myths involving Hades is his abduction of Persephone. Over time, interpretations of this story have evolved significantly. While early versions emphasize force and captivity, later readings, influenced by psychological perspectives, highlight Persephone's transformation and agency. Some scholars even see the myth as a rite of passage, representing the necessary descent into the unknown to gain wisdom and personal growth. Traditionally seen as an act of force, this story can also be understood symbolically. Persephone's descent into the underworld represents the unavoidable pull into deeper, hidden aspects of life, into change, loss, and ultimately transformation. Whether we are ready or not, life takes us into the unknown, forcing us to confront the parts of ourselves we often resist. The underworld, then, is not just a final resting place. It's a realm of transformation, one we enter multiple times throughout life, not only at its end. Every descent into our struggles, fears, and losses is a journey into Hades' domain. And, like Persephone, we do not return unchanged. In depth psychology, Hades' underworld is a powerful symbol of the unconscious mind. Carl Jung described this realm as the repository of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we suppress, deny, or fear. The underworld is not separate from us. It exists within us, shaping our emotions, decisions, and sense of self. Hades, in this context, is the guardian of the shadow, overseeing what remains hidden until we are ready to face it. Ignoring the shadow does not erase it. It only makes it stronger. Running from the shadow does not get us away from it. It chases, trips us up, pins us down, influencing our lives in unconscious ways, often at our own expense. For example, suppressed fears and desires can manifest as self-sabotaging behaviors, recurring patterns in relationships, or sudden emotional outbursts that seem to arise without cause. By acknowledging these hidden aspects, we can begin to integrate them and regain control over our actions and responses. All this takes place in the realm of Hades. James Hillman expands this idea, suggesting that the underworld is not just a place of repression, but of soul-making. It is where we confront and integrate the deeper, unseen layers of our being. Without Hades, there is no depth, only surface. Without descent, there is no real transformation, only superficial changes on a mask we call personality that does not reflect our true self in totality. So why does any of this matter? Because true transformation does not happen in the light. It happens in the darkness. Growth comes from facing our fears, our buried pain, and the unconscious forces that shape our lives. Each of us must undertake our own journey into the underworld. Like Persephone, we must spend time in this shadowed realm. Look into the dark, confront what lives there. And just as she emerges each spring, so too do we return with newfound wisdom, back into the light after a period of darkness. Just as the dawn of spring emerges from the cold, dark months of winter. Hades is not a villain to be feared, but a guide through darkness. He shows us what we must face unapologetically. Without him, we would remain stagnant, ruled by fears we must refuse to name, and unconscious processes we cannot control. Where is Hades present in your life? What aspect of yourself is calling you to descend into the underworld? Maybe it's a difficult relationship, a repressed fear, or an internal struggle you've avoided. Whatever it is for you, it is a psychological landscape we all transverse, and one we must transverse if we are seeking wisdom. To deny Hades is to deny transformation. Much like rejecting the shadow keeps us stuck, true growth requires us to acknowledge and integrate these darker aspects. A willing descent into the underworld of our psyche allows us to emerge with a fuller understanding of ourselves, and that willing descent also allows us to avoid the forceful abduction into it. Descent is not the end. It is the beginning of something greater after the dark night of the soul. Like Persephone, we return from our descent forever changed. We bring back not only wisdom, but a deeper understanding of who we truly are. It is a necessary station on the hero's journey, because if you don't know what lurks in the dark, then you are much more vulnerable to being tripped by it and find yourself face down. Go willingly instead into the inner realm of the underworld, and in that turn, there is great potential to see what ailed you was actually your gifts, your unclaimed power. Thank you for spending time with us today in Mantis Library. I hope this video has inspired you to reflect on your own underworld contemplation and the growth that can come from exploring the darker parts of your own psyche. If you found this exploration meaningful and would like to see more about this topic, leave a comment for us and subscribe for more videos like this.